Welcome to an action-packed Cheltenham preview show. You can see the current trainer standings going through the screen as we speak, and in a minute I'll be going through the races with Greg Clutterbuck, and later on Leon van Rensburg will be giving you an in-depth look at his opinion on each race. Right, so Cheltenham Festival time, and I've got Gray with me, the president of the league. How are you doing, Gray?
I'm doing fine, man, thank you.
Yeah, a good start to the season?
Better than I thought. I thought I'd be struggling on the jumps, but I'm doing good on jumps this season.
That's good.
That's okay, but no, I'm a jump trainer really. I had a bad season last year, but it's been a lot better this year.
That's good. Are you in the caravan with the budgies again, like you were a couple of years ago?
No, the budgies in the bay window by my computer where I am. He hasn't got up this time because he lost a couple of budgies, so he's the last one left.
Oh, is he? He's making a lot of noise for just one of them. Okay, so the Skybet Supreme Novices Hurdle is the first race then, as usual. What do you like to look of in that?
Well, I like David Hooley's the last word. It's won 4 times. He's got 7 runs, placed second the other 3 times. I think it's going to be really hard to look past that horse.
It is, isn't it? I mean, the only possibility you've got of it getting beat is if it falls over or it gets boxed in somewhere, but the field's not really big enough for that, is it? So I think it looks like a nailed-on cert to get favourite backers, and David Hooley off to a flying start, really. Can't really think of anything that I'd want to put money on against it, and it's rated far superior to everything else, isn't it? I think I'd probably stick Cleveland Creek in for the forecast just because it's running into a bit of form. Well, what would you be going in for second?
I like Darren Thompson's on the desired lines to grab the place. It's only rated 129, but I quite like that Darren Thompson's one was at Cheltenham, and they usually won well. I think I'll give that a good each way chance.
So on to the first of the chases then. It's novices again. So the Arkle is race 2. What do you like to look over there?
The trainers in there, Josh is very strong. His 2 miles has been very strong. I know Liam thinks his 2 miles are the best in the league, so I really like Josh's runners. Which one is the problem? I'm going to go with the roadmap on the bottom of the mare to win that one.
Yeah, again, I think we're probably going to be singing from the same hymn sheet. It definitely looks like a toss-up between those two, doesn't it? Josh's look far superior to everybody else's in this. So it's a case of which one, because they've beaten each other, haven't they, throughout the season. But yeah, the Supreme seems to have the slightly better form because it hasn't fallen over. But as the roadmap won more, and the roadmap's getting that mare's allowance, which could make all the difference. So I think I'm probably going to agree with you, and I'm probably just going to fall down on the side of the roadmap simply because of the £3 mare's allowance. I think again.
Darren Thompson's El Dumo. He could pull up a fight, especially like I said. If I had to look for another one outside those Josh Sullivan's horse, that'll be the one I look at.
Yeah, the surprising thing here is that they've got Il Duomo to go off favourite at the moment, 2-1. I can't see that happening on the day though, can you? I think the money will come in for the roadmap and the Supreme, and one of them will go off road, I would think. But at the moment, Il Duomo seems to be the one that I think is going to win. So.
The odds is on the bad time. It's been 3 wins and fallen 3 times.
Well, this is the silly thing about this, because when we could put some extra ones in, I'd said to, I don't know, it was you or Leon, I'd said that we haven't got enough novices in the league really, which was one of the reasons why I wanted everybody to put an extra few in. So I thought, well, I better put a few novices in, and this one, it was beating all of my. I mean, I've got Drumlagen running later on. I've got a few others that have won over 2 miles, 2.5 miles, and absolutely thrashes them in the trials, this one. And I thought, well, I'm going to stick that in then and see what it does. And it's had 3 races so far, and it's fell every single time. Didn't fall once in the trial. So if it stands up, it could do all right. But whether it stands up or not is another thing entirely. So I couldn't advise anybody to tip it, but it could end up being the first major surprise of the week. If it stands up, it could well win. So who knows? Well, unfortunately, at this point, something went wrong with the tape, and we lost the opinions of Gray and myself on the next 3 or 4 races. So we're now going to jump straight onto the Close Brothers Novices Chase. Right, they're onto the Close Brothers Novices Handicap Chase. This is 0 to 130, and they're all in the handicap except for the bottom one, so that's good. And if you'd have said to me 5 or 6 years ago when I first started doing this that the only trainer with a horse out of the handicap would be Paul Rhodes, I'd have said you were talking at the top of your hat. So it's amazing how things have sort of changed, isn't it? But there are signs that the old professor's coming back over the jumps. He's certainly back over the flat, so...
Yeah, I think he's been concentrating so much on the flat and trying to get back to the top of the flat that his jumpers have, even John Morgan, he ain't got a jumpers this year. I'm sure he'll be back next season with jumpers. Yeah,
I think 1 or 2 people have missed those flashy front-running greys that go off at 3,000 miles an hour and either win or fall over. So this is the first one really, a proper handicap, isn't it? Because they're all in there properly. Paul Rhodes' horse is the only one that's out of the handicap out of the 11 of them. Everything's running off its proper weight apart from that, so it should be a proper race.
Yes. At the beginning of the season, my horse won the Galway Novice Chase. It was one of the big chases at the beginning. I thought, well, I put him in that race. I didn't expect him when he won. And he's done nothing since. He's well handicapped. He's done the 105 now. But I'm going to go for California Dreaming and Patrick Hogan's horse.
Yeah, his jumpers are coming into form as well.
Yeah, he's won 2 of his last 3 races. I probably to change the respect. Look at his rating of 110. But he's, it might be the change of ground. Maybe he's now running on good ground. I don't know. Yeah,
we're making that one the joint favourite with the top weight, which is one of mine. I couldn't believe him. I'd come out top weight in this because he's a maiden. He's never won a race, so how come he's top weight? Really, it's just being penalised for being consistent, I suppose, isn't it? But it's coming second, third, and fourth. But that's why sometimes in this league, if you win a race and then lose 4, you're better off than if you come second or third every week. So he hasn't got much chance giving the weight away because he's just a handicapped chaser. He'll do all right. He'll probably finish 4th. And subsequently not get put down in the weights again. And he's one of those horses that'll probably be sort of back next year. I'd like to bring a lot of novices back if I can. Dancer on the stage has already won. She won, I think, the Florida Pearl earlier in the year, so she's capable of turning it on if she feels like it. But 66 to 1 is probably about the right price for her. I think if I was going to go for in this, I would be looking at Ashpan Willis for David Robertson, because he's, like we said earlier, he's always there or thereabouts, and also Cabo Valdamo for Darren Thompson. That one looks like it's due a win. Well, they're both getting weight from my 2 and from Craig Beckwith. I'll go with them.
Yeah, it was the first week that CW Bay would be chucked in, but he's done nothing since that first week. So, chucked him in some ways to make it always got a good chance. He's got some very good handicaps, and he's done absolutely nothing. And he's been jumping slowly as well, so I just scratched that straight away. I just go for Patrick's horse.
Yeah.
California Dream.
Yeah, that's probably got as good a chance as any. Should be a good race, that one. Once again, we lost the recording at this point, and when we return to the audio, Gray is asking me on my opinion of my horse Circular Bridge in the next race, the Neptune Investment Novices Hurdle. It won really well last week. I think it was a chase last week, but a few weeks ago it run really well over hurdles as well. So I thought this probably looked a bit of an easier option than the other one. So yeah, it's got a sneaking feeling it could run a decent race. I don't think it'll win though, because it's not best part of £50 inferior to Wayward Cats according to the official ratings. So if it was a handicap, I'd be laughing, because I'd be running off bottom weight. But I don't think it can touch Leon van Rensburg's too. But with them, you've just got to hope they fall over, really, haven't you? If you want to try and beat them. Dance Lady for David Hooley would probably be quite good as well. But I think I'll probably be coming down on the side of Bahamian Branch actually this time to beat Wayward Cats. I don't know why. It seems to run more sort of consistently, that one.
Well, I'm going to go for a little bit of price on Dance Lady. David Hooley's horse there. I think I don't want to go the same ones as you do. I don't want to pick Leo's or all of Leo's horses, because he can't win every race. So I'm going to go up with Dance Lady and hope David Hooley gets another one in.
Yeah, well, it's every chance on it with it being a hurdle race. David Hooley does seem to be the expert with the hurdles, really. Right, back to the bigger obstacles then for the RSA, and I think there's a couple of hot spots in this, isn't there?
Yeah, you're looking at Josh again, aren't we?
Yeah, they ought to. I mean, I'd got two that could have run good in this, but I just thought there was absolutely no point. And I think I've stuck one in the handicap, and I've sent one somewhere else. I think I might have sent one to, I don't know, Fakenham or somewhere, I don't know. But there's just no point running against them, really, because if you've got one or two that are that good, then you might think, well, one or two might fall over. But when you've got three or four really good ones in this, you've got no chance, really.
I stuck well with David in. It's 3 miles of stretching his stamina, so he's already I just chucked him in the else to go with him. Yeah, you got to look at the 3 big trainers here, and most consistent horse and the one you guarantee to get around is the tiny horse.
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm going to go for.
Yeah, I want
to. His favourite as well. That must be his favourite backer.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty boring, because I want to do exactly the same thing, because it's just better than all the others, isn't it? Cleric's Cloak might fall over, Cleveland might fall over. Leon seems to have had a bit of a problem with some of his horses this year. He's had a lot of fallers. I mean, look at that Obsidian Shard earlier on that fell 4 times on the trot, and then at the beginning of the season he was telling me that the horse he's got running the Gold Cup found her voice, which I think he said is related to G.I. Joe, was better than G.I. Joe, was the best chaser he'd had, and I think it's fell over 3 times, so I don't know what's going on there. So you just got to take that little bit of caution with Leon's chasers, that they do have a tendency to fall, and I think Josh will get a 1-2 in this. I think Firebrand will chase the tiny horse home, it'll be a 1-2 for Josh.
I think it'll be Josh, and then I'm going to go for Leon Cleveland going in second. Yeah,
looks a slightly better bet than Cleric Cloak Cleveland. Even Cleveland's fallen once, so it's...
Yeah, but he's won 3 times since then. He is more consistent, isn't he, than Cleric Cloak?
He is, yeah.
For some reason, he's overrated than Cleric Cloak. He's been running in different races, I don't know.
It's hard to fathom sometimes. Once again, we lost the tape at this point, and when the audio returns, we're discussing the final race of the day, the Fred Winter Juvenile Hurdle. Out of the Triumph, we used to be a massive fill for the Triumph, didn't it? But now it's the other way around. There's loads in this and only a few in the Triumph, which is probably better.
There was a lot of deadwood in the Triumph, wasn't there, years ago?
There was, and the handicap for this has worked out alright as well, because there's only one that's running out of the handicap. That's Alex Cherry's Irina Bay. The rest of them are all running off exactly what they're supposed to be running off, which is good.
Yeah. Well, do you think he always loves no friend? Does that put you fancy your chances for that? This a deal or 25-1?
I fancy my chances for the other one. Actually, Gear is the one I think will win this. That's already won a race earlier in the season, and it's my best divisions throughout the seasons have been 4-year-old hurdlers and the long distance horses. Every year somehow I seem to turn up with a decent 4-year-old. They're not quite as good as they were the last couple of years. Last year I had tons of sobs, and the year before that I had Corbegger back, who were really fighting for the 4-year-old championship. These ones this year are a little bit not quite so good. Cool Highlander, the third one, I put in the Triumph because he would have had to carry top weight in this, and I didn't fancy that. But I think Gur's got a chance. Love's No Friend was the one that just came third in the trials, and so when we had a chance to put an extra one in, I thought, well, you know what, there are 2 4-year-old races at Cheltenham. I normally do alright with a 4-year-old hurdler, so let's stick him in. I like Sexton Blake as well, simply because Kevin Minahan names lots of his horses after real old horses from the 70s and 80s and stuff, and Sexton Blake was a good old horse I remember from years ago. So that's it'd be nice to see that one win. But I'm going to go down on the side of me. I think I might do alright in this because I usually do, and I definitely think Girl will finish in the top 3. I think Yuri Greek will probably do alright as well. It's difficult to see past Lemonade though, really, because it's getting weight off a lot of people, and it's winners count. I think Josh fell 6 or 7 behind Leon this week. They were neck and neck last week, but Leon had a really good week, and so Josh will be keen to make up some ground, and I would think he'll have inspected every single one of these races with a magnifying glass to see where he can sneak that extra win from, and this is one of those races that he probably wouldn't have been that bothered about, but now he's probably thinking, well, do you know what, I could get a nice easy win here.
I'm going to stick with my egret. I do with Julie T. That one early in the season, he must have won somebody to one for OB1. He's plugging on at the national game, isn't he? National and OB1.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I think he's great. Well, loads of those 3-horse races where there's just the... Unfortunately, this is the point where the tape ran out for good and just stopped recording. We were just in the middle of praising Obi-Wan Serious Chill for his constant efforts in the national hunt. I think a lot of us would agree that his front runners set up quite a lot of the races and lead to some good excitement, so we're hoping he might pick up a winner at some point over the festival. Now, Leon van Rensburg will give you his insight to today's racing at Cheltenham.
So yeah, my short synopsis for day 1. First of all, Supreme. The last word has never been out of the first 2. It has been beaten twice though by a breakout character, and both in grade 1s, and the breakout character needs a fast pace and we're coming from the back of the field, and because of that I'm probably going to go for the last word to actually reverse the outcome of the last race. So the last word for me to beat breakout character in this race, I have no idea who's going to be third, but I'll go for the last word for Dave Woody to win the first, the Supreme Novice. Well, the second race is the Arkle, and Josh Sutherland has got a good record in this race, and these 2 horses, the Supreme and the Roadman, must have huge chances. But Darren Thompson's horse has really come to form, Ildoma, and has beat both the Supreme and the Roadmap in his last start at Leopardstown. Although it is Cheltenham and Josh's horses normally do well at Cheltenham, I'm going to go for the Supreme to win the Arkle, from Ildoma in second and the Roadmap to finish back in third. Race 3, the Ultima Handicap Chase. There's a couple of Group 1 winners in this. Obsidian Shard has won a Group 1, and so has Vimora Boy. Obsidian Shard is very high in the weights and has fallen the last 3 times, and it really can't give him much confidence with that. Geraldo is very high in the weights as well. Vimora Boy is actually really well weighted, yeah, and I think Davy Robertson's horse must have a very big chance. I also like the look of Magic Spell for Craig Beckworth, so I'm going to go with Vimora Boy to win from Magic Spell, and go for Clara Bell to finish in third for the Ultima Handicap Chase. The Champion Hurdle Race 4, last year's Supreme winner, Mar Desconsider, came into form nicely in the last start, winning the Group 1 at Grade 1 at Leopardstown from stablemate Dark Shadows, when allowed to dictate from the front, and that's really the key to Mar Desconsider. It needs to go from the front, but the big field might not allow that. So Dave really has a good record in this, and First Reward has been a bit unlucky on some occasions, so I'm going to go with First Reward to beat Dark Shadows, although they're going to be very close, and Mar Desconsider back in third for the Champion Hurdle. Race 5, the Glenfell Class Handicap Chase, the cross-country race. There's a couple of horses in here are specialist cross-country horses, Captain Manwerick and an Ironical Harold, but quite a few of these are going to be out of the weights in this race, and due to Landmark being so highly weighted, as well as Dawn of the New Age. I don't think Dawn of the New Age or Moral Fact have much chance in this race. It's probably too far for both of them, and Ironical Harold is lightly weighted and bought in especially for this race, so I'm going to go with Graham Clutterbuck's Ironical Harold to win from Captain Manwaring, and I'll go for Patrick Hogan's Madame Rose to finish back in third. The Dave Nicholson's Mares Hurdle over 2 miles 4 has a very open feel to it. A lot of my eyes probably would be the standout choice, but it's probably on the short side for a lot of my eyes. Might get slightly outpaced. Jailbreak seems to find nothing in the finish. Value Club must have some sort of a chance, but there's only one listed. Phantom Mask has an outside chance for my stable, but really hasn't been that great this season. I'm actually going to go with Josh Sutherland's horse here, Delightful. I think Delightful's got a great chance. I think it's been a bit unlucky in a few of its starts, and I think Delightful will take the Dave Nicholson Mares Hurdle from a lot of miles, and possibly Jailbreak back in third. Race 7, the Close Brothers Novice Handicaps Chase. A couple of these are taking drops in class, and Rich D, Cabo Valdana and Ashburn Willis are the three that are taking drops in class, and I quite like horses who drop in class. Bear must have some outside chance, but I'm going to go with Darren Thompson's Cabo Valdama to win this from Ashburn Willis for Davy Robertson, and possibly Bear back in third for Graham Clutterbuck. Race 8, the Neptune Investments Hurdle. My two Wayward Cats and Bohemian Branch have sort of lost their way a bit, and Ariel Along for Darren Thompson has really been ultra consistent, as well as Dance Lady for Dave Hewley, and Pam Muir for Davy Robertson also must have some sort of chance, but I'm going to go for Darren Thompson's Ariel Along to win this from Wayward Cats of mine, but he does get going a bit late, and possibly Dance Lady to finish third for Dave Hewley. The RSA Novices Chase, race number 9. The ultra consistent, the tiny horse must have a huge chance in this. The horse is always thereabouts, is always close, probably just gets beaten if it does get beaten. Nomadic Bargroves won well last time, but the tiny horse has the penalty in that race. I think the tiny horse's run style is going to suit Cheltenham. Josh Sutherland has a good record at Cheltenham. I'm going to go with the tiny horse to win this. My two Cleric's Cloak and Cleveland. They leave a lot. They probably leave a lot to be done in the end. They sort of will come from the back of the field. So if they get a good run and don't go too wide, they must have chances. But I'm going to go with the tiny horse to win this. I'll go with Cleric's Cloak to finish second, and Nomadic Briargraves for Davy Robertson to be back in third. Yeah, maybe Firebrand to feature in the places as well. The Coral Cup has been thrown totally open, really, because a lot of the horses are going to be out of the weights now because of Fascination. Big Time, I thought, was going to be carrying near the top weight. He's really lowly weighted, yeah. It's got a big chance. Big Time has been very unlucky. He's gone wide a lot of starts so far, and he does come from the back of the field, which may be an issue. Wayfinder obviously also has a good chance as well. I'm actually going to go with something else here. I'm going to go with San Jose Terrible to win it for Vinnie Gerard from my horse Big Time in second, and Wayfinder back in third for Josh Sutherland. Race 11, the Queen Mother Champion Chase. Well, we got the first from last year and the third from last year returning in Alien Invasion and the King. Alien Invasion really is not at the same level as she was as a 7-year-old, and Josh's horses have dominated the 2 mile division this season, and the Smile and the King, it's really one of them who wins it. Josh thinks the Smile is going to win it. He's probably right on that occasion, so I'm going to go with the Smile to win. I'm going to go for the King to be second. I'm hopeful that Alien Invasion might be able to get the third spot. Race 12, the Year of the National Hunt Chase. Artisan Sundown is top weight, has got the form for the race, but the weight puts me off a bit. Rollover Beethoven must have some sort of chance for Patrick Hogan, as Teal Storm as well, but I'm going to go with Irish Tony to win this for Craig Beckwith. He's got a good record in these staying races, and I think the horse is lowly weighted, some sort of show last time, so I'll go with Irish Tony to win from Rollover Beethoven in second for Patrick Hogan, and I'll go with Teal Storm to finish third for Graham Clutterbuck. The Fred Winter Juvenile Handicap. This is an open event. It's really hard for me to pick a winner. I think that Kevin Minigan's 4-year-olds are better than their form suggests. He probably thinks that he better ground. Good to Soft is a bit of better ground in any case. So Art Patrick doesn't have much form in the book, but I think I'll go for Art Patrick to possibly win this from Egret for Graham Clutterbuck, and I'll go with I think I'm not really unsure it's going to be third. I'll go with Gurr from Modern Eden to finish back in third. in the Fred Winter. That's my wrap up for the first day from Cheltenham.
Oh, thanks to Leon for that then. Also, thanks to Gray for joining me on Saturday evening for a little look at the cards, and apologies to Gray and everybody else for the missing audio. I think I've pretty much figured out what happened. I got a loose connection on the microphone and it kept cutting out, so hopefully that'll be sorted out before tomorrow. And so without further ado, let's get on to the racing proper, and we'll start off with the Supreme Novices Hurdle.